What's up, everybody? My name is Ron Amos, and welcome back to Less Pressure Podcast. Today's special guest is a good friend of mine. I met this guy when I was 11 years old, and he works for the United States Airforce in security forces. Everybody, please welcome Chris Wee.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. It's been a minute. Since I talked. Shit.
It has been.
I can swear on this, too.
It's been a long time. Oh, yeah, cuss. I cuss on this podcast. This is one of those podcasts where we cuss a lot because I just want it to feel like free. I don't want to put restrictions on what people can say and what they can't say. So we definitely cuss over here.
You know me.
Oh yeah, I know you can. You can say some stuff. So
yes, I can.
But how you feeling these days? How you doing?
I'm living it day by day. It's work is work. I come in, clock out, especially the bullshit I've been dealing with. But other than that, it's straight. How's life?
Yo, you hopped on right away. Was like, I ain't really feeling it right now.
you know how it is, man.
No. I know exactly how it is. That's real shit, and I really appreciate the honesty that you wasn't just like, oh yeah, everything's sweet, right now. Because when shit ain't right,
Nah, dude, fuck that shit. I don't know.
Yeah. So, kind of, where you at right now with just like life in general, Because like as I mentioned before, you do security forces for the Air Force.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm just chilling. Right now, I guess like the biggest thing I'm currently dealing with is I'm doing physical therapy for the last 2 months now. Because so pretty much found out that I have like arthritis in my knee, in layman's term. I have arthritis in my fucking right knee. So it's been hard for me to like do my daily work stuff, right? And then like on top of like playing sports and all that. So it's been like my biggest challenge that I'm dealing with, like I said. And actually like today I had one of my last few PT sessions, and then I gotta get reevaluated and then see if I need to either do more physical therapy or start looking at doing injections. Because before I was supposed to do injections in conjunction with physical therapy, but it was steroids, which I've heard a lot of people, good friends of mine, saying like they've done it and it's like the worst thing possible because short term it heals you, but then long term like it doesn't do anything. Pretty much you're worse long term than you are short term. So, but I was talking to my physical therapist, and she was saying that they're gonna do injections. It's called PRP, I think. Pretty much, excuse me. Pretty much, it's like thinning my blood to like a certain point where it's just like the vital nutrients, and then injecting it in my knee. So it's supposed to be better. It won't give me the same kind of results as in like steroids, and then like that short term, but long term, it's actually I have a better longevity compared to using steroids. So I was like, fuck it, like okay, we'll look at that if I need to, if my knee doesn't get better. So yeah, so it's been rough. Like, I can't do like she put me a restriction on playing sports and all that. And like I said, like my day-to-day job, I have to wear vest, I have my whole duty gear and my guns and shit walking around. Can't put a toll or like sitting for a long period of time or standing for a long period of time. Like literally I'm just miserable regardless.
Yeah. So. I feel that. So like when did you find out that you had the arthritis in your knee? Or how did you find out?
So it was the beginning of it was the beginning of this year. Yeah, it was the beginning of this year when I came back from Greenland. It was fine, whatever. And then I started playing like softball off base, right? And then just within a span of 2 weeks, I've noticed my knee swollen and shit, right? I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Iced it, was perfectly fine, and then it was still swollen after icing it, taking ibuprofen, like doing everything to do, like to recover for like 2 weeks straight. So I was like, okay, like something's wrong, right? And then like I just noticed like simple things like my knee. I would have knee pains, before like it was here and there. I ice it, ibuprofen, I was straight, and then it became like ibuprofen icing almost every day just so I can get the swelling down, and I still couldn't do it, right? So it was a couple months, and then I was like, okay, at a point I was like, okay, I need to get it checked, right? So I got it checked, and then got an x-ray done. My knee was straight. I didn't have any damage to my like kneecap or any of my bones. And then I took an MRI, and pretty much found out that I re-tore my meniscus. Well, I tore my meniscus, the same meniscus that I tore back in 2018, 19? 2018. 2019. Around then. Like,
Long time ago.
Because, yeah. So I re-tore a portion of it. So when I first tore my ACL, they told me that they like scraped away my entire meniscus, or that portion of my meniscus. And then when I did my X-rays and my MRI, it showed that they only scraped away that injury point, right? So I was like, well, that's great. I just tore my meniscus again, so no wonder why I've been having issues. So they're like, yeah, you kind of have to like hold off on like playing sports and all that stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Me being kind of the fucking ignorant asshole and stubborn asshole I still kind of played. So I was like hurting myself, but I was like, if I'm already in pain, might as well just kind of like push through it. But I was not healthy.
What?
And then, yeah, yeah. I straight up was just like, nah, like you can't. Like, I mean, like, I like being active. I like playing sports. So like, it's hard for me to like be put away, especially like when I first tore my ACL. Like, it was I was miserable. Like I couldn't do anything other than physical therapy, and then that's it, right? But then after physical therapy and like my knee got better, I was very active, right? So I was like, all right, cool. So when I got hurt,
so are you
I was
able
like,
to walk right
whatever.
now?
Like it's meniscus. I could still, huh?
Are you able to like walk right now?
Oh yeah, I'm able to walk. I'm able to run, but like it's to the point where like I run, especially like if I have my gear on, right? I run for so long that like my knee just gets to a point where like it wants to just give up. Like I'm limping. So it's like. So yeah, that's why like she put my physical therapist put like a huge emphasis on like you need to stop playing sports, and like I was like, okay, yes, I need to stop.
Yeah.
So,
nah, for real though, like you got to listen to them because they study this shit, and like they're not gonna tell you anything just to be all like, just don't do it. Like, nah, you can really hurt some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I got like a knee injury too now too. Like I'm icing my shit right now. Like I got my ice pack on my knee right now because I was dancing yesterday. And
I mean, yeah.
Like I did too much.
No,
pretty
I
much I just re-hurt myself.
You tore your ACL too, right?
No, I broke my tibia bone.
Ooh, how the fuck did you do that?
Chris, you don't know?
No,
for real?
I don't. I remember seeing like the picture of you. Yeah, like dead ass. Like I remember seeing the picture of you like in a brace, and then that's it. And I was like, oh shit.
You never knew what happened to me.
I could have sworn like a fucking. No.
Where you? All right.
What
surprise?
What do you mean? Right. Where I've been? Bro, I've been
here. Dude. Like January, I got into a really bad car accident, and then it was like on the highway, and then I got out of my car because my car spun out in the snow, and then I got out of my car and I got ran over by an SUV, and that's when I broke. And that's when I got injured, and then I was down for like 3 months and all this shit. Dude, I had like teeth missing, everything. Like I got these scars on my face. Like that's what happened.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't know. Dude, this shit was on the news. This shit was on Facebook,
Who was gonna tell
Instagram,
me, bro?
Snapchat. Gene didn't tell
Bro,
you?
I don't. No, that motherfucker doesn't tell me shit. I barely talk to them up food. Fucking,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I fucking recently talked to him was when we messing on Snapchat.
Yeah, but you came here recently, didn't you? You came back recently, didn't you?
Yeah, and we didn't fucking mention anything about that.
He ain't say nothing.
But also at the same time too, I don't think we hung out when I came back.
Because when you came back, Gene told me you came back after you left. So I didn't know. Oh, but yeah, so pretty much, if you wasn't on Instagram around that time, you probably wouldn't have seen it because I didn't post what happened on Snapchat or whatever. Like I reshared it on Facebook and Instagram, but I just assumed that everybody knew because it was all over the place. But yeah, I'm good now. My knee is healed.
Yeah, well, I'm fucking glad that obviously, you're here, right? I'd be fucking torn as shit if something worse happened. But yeah, I remember seeing like I said, I remember seeing you in like a leg brace, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And of course, when I reached out, or if I did reach out, I don't know. This year fucking flew by. I barely remember yesterday.
Yeah. Nah, but my shit is pretty much good now. The bone healed. Yeah. Like I retrained and danced, and I went to physical therapy for some weeks. Like all my shit over here is good. I just have pain every once in a while if I do too much. And yesterday night I was dancing and like I was doing stuff like going low on the floor, which I probably could have skipped out on doing, but I did it anyways. And so now I'm in some pain. But usually I'm pretty good though. It's not too bad, but I'm grateful. My shit's not broken again though. So you're going through a whole like another process with your injury. And I feel like you're still kind of in the thick of it because you don't even know what you're gonna do next as far as like the doctor's orders pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, and like right now too, like my biggest concern is it's like obviously, right, I need my knee to fucking do anything, like even like heavy lifting and shit, right? So like it's to the point where like I can be medically discharged, and I really don't want to do that because obviously I want to make I fucking want to make this shit a career. So like at this point, like it's very like it's getting to, if my knee doesn't get better, like it's a possibility of potentially me getting getting discharged, which wouldn't be bad, but at the same time too, it's like I don't want to because obviously, like I said, this is my career. I want to do this for life, And
you love this.
I mean, I'm at almost, yeah. Like as much as like with just any fucking job, right, that we have, whether it's military or like the civilian side, right, we have the bullshit we deal with. We have the fucking struggles. We have those bad days, but at the end of the day, it's still something I enjoy. So yeah, like with my knee, it's just it makes it a little bit rough. There's days where I'm like, fuck, like, am I really gonna be getting kicked out or getting discharged? Right? Then I'm like, no, like with my knee and doing physical therapy, it's kind of getting better, but it's this constant back and forth.
So like, how are you dealing with it mentally as far as like the pushback, like being limited on physical activity and stuff like that? Like, how's that been for you?
So like mentally, it's like I said, right? I have those days where I'm like, well, fuck, like, is this really like, do I really have to start planning for the outside, right? Do I have to plan for, if I do get medically discharged, am I going to stay here or am I going to move back, to Chicago? Which, yeah, good luck. I'm not moving back ever again. Fuck Illinois. But like, But like it's still like a possibility of like, fuck, like what am I going to do if I get discharged, right? What's my plans? Because I still want to be in the realm of like doing what, like using my skills that I've learned throughout my career on the outside. Well, I can't be a cop because one, being a cop right now in like this day and age is kind of rough for ever since George Floyd, and I mean and over the course of ever since we were growing up, right? It's just been constantly getting worse and worse. So I was like, I really don't want to do that. Then I'm like, well, I can do like private security, right? But then, I don't want to be just a basic ass security guard, with my fucking little walkie-talkie and be like, hey guys, stop it, like I want to still be able to carry a gun on a daily basis, like, and that's like my biggest thing for me is like being able to do that, right? Because once again, I've been doing it since my entire career, or see when I first actually became operational compared to like me going to basic and tech school and all that shit. But, like, yeah,
so what about it like?
I love.
Yeah, what about it like drew you to that specific like field? Was it like the idea of being able to like serve and protect people?
So, it was it was my uncle. He was a Chicago PD for years, and it was like something that I was like, cool. I was like, I really want to do that. And then in conjunction with seeing my dad graduate, right? Because my dad's still in, he's still in, right? He's still serving. Even he's a reservist, right? But he's still serving. So seeing that as a kid back in, I think, like third grade, I was like, oh shit, like this is something I really want to do, and obviously growing up, teachers always ask us, oh, hey Jimmy, what do you want to be for growing up? I want to be an astronaut, right? So it was very weird, like seeing like the reaction I got from teachers because they would be like, oh, Chris, what'd you like to be growing up? I was like, I want to be in the Air Force, like I want to be in the military, and they're like, what? Like, Chris, you're only like 8. How the fuck do you want to like, I was like, it's something that I wanted to do, and obviously like I stuck to it, right? But the only time I ever had like a kind of not necessarily doubt that I wanted to join, but like I wanted to take a different path than what I originally want was back in high school when I was dating Lauren. When she kind of started introducing
you just
me
gonna
to
say
like
her name.
going to college and the idea. Yeah, fuck it. I mean, she's not gonna fucking watch this shit.
I don't know who that is, by the way, but I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, it don't fucking matter. You don't know who the fuck it is. Gene knows. Yeah, she introduced me to like the idea of going to college, right? So I was like actually looking into like when we did our fucking ACTs, right? I was like, all right, cool. Like maybe let me see what college I can get into. My dumb ass think I was fucking smart, right? Now I got like a 21. Excuse me for my hair. I got a 21, so I could barely go to anything.
Or I got like a 15, so
but like, I mean, but like compared to like everyone else, like at Lake Park, who was like, oh yeah, I got like a 27, I got a 25, I got a I was 30. Like, fuck, I wish I got a 31. I'm like, I'm just happy. Like I got this. Like, like let me have my feelings. But yeah, but like it was still like a shock to most people that I wanted to still like ever since a kid just still join the military, right? So joining the military was from my dad, and then being a cop specifically was my uncle, and like. My brother, so when my brother joined, he was telling me, like, don't do it, like, don't join the military, don't be a fucking cop, like, this shit sucks, right? Mm-hmm. But at his time, it was very different than when I joined, because when I joined, they kind of shifted the career field to make it a little bit more beneficial for everyone. So, like, where we were stationed in Montana, right? And before I joined the military, he was pretty much like, if he went to Montana, he was coded, so pretty much it was hard for him to leave, right? To get orders anywhere out, like to explore the world, right? That's what like most people join the military for, is to the exploration, right? So when he joined, like it was never the thing, right? So when he got to, it's called the nuke bases, right? So, so like when he got there, it was called PRP, or like Personal Reliability Program, whatever the fuck. But it was essentially that, like, only people who have that code can only go to those specific bases. So it was really hard for people at the time to kind of leave, right? Like I said, like to explore the world. So it kind of wore down on him, especially the atmosphere that Montana was, or nuke bases in general kind of have the same atmosphere, but like the location too kind of plays into that a lot. So that was a struggle for him. And then when I joined, they shifted it where it was PRP, or PRAP, sorry. And essentially, bless you. Essentially, it got away with that code, right? So now, like, when I joined, if something happened to me, I can be replaced, essentially. Right. And then, like, if I was good, like, I can now travel to, Europe, or to fucking, I don't know, Kansas. Fucking, like, I was able to move bases a lot more easier than compared to when my brother joined. And that's what kind of, like, drove him out of the military. And then he just eventually was like, the military's not for me. Like, I did my 6 years. I'm cool. Like, I'm ready to get out type shit. Which is actually very common across, like, the military. Especially
did you
like
did
like
you struggle with the decision at all?
Yeah, I definitely did. So when I first joined, I was what we call like bright-eyed airmen, right? Think about like that freshman in college, right? You're just like, oh wow, I want to experience the military, or I want to experience college. Is that kind of the same mentality? And then when you get through your career and like you start doing your job and day in and day out, that's when you kind of start learning. So it was a little bit of a struggle for me. My first 2 years were like my biggest struggle. Obviously my next 2 years after that were also kind of my biggest struggle, but it's complicated. but but yeah, so like my first 2 years I was like, cool. Like I said, like I was happy to be in the military. I was happy to do what I was doing, regardless of what my brother was telling me, right? I still kind of have I formed my own opinion about it, right? So, my first 2 years, I slowly kind of got into that aspect of like, fuck, like, I don't want to be doing this. Like, I'm not proud of it. Like, I'm not happy that, yeah, I get just, not many people can say, oh yeah, I got to guard nukes and stuff, right? But if you got into the nitty gritty of what I did on a daily basis, like, it'd be like, damn, you get paid to do that shit, So I was like, I really don't want to do this sometimes. And I was like, maybe I should just get out at 6. But then after it was the beginning of, or at the end, literally the end of 2017, going into 2018, my brother's section that he worked, convoys, they were hiring. So I was like, you know what? Let me try, because I definitely want to get out of the missile field, right? I'm done with that shit. No one should be doing this for 4 years straight. Like, I want to get I want to have progression in my career. So I was like, okay, let me go here, right? And then as soon as I joined convoys, that's when I started getting that spark back, because now I got to say, hey, like, I provided security when I transported nuclear components in and out of base. Like, that shit is cool. And then, like, I got to, I looked cool running around in a fucking, couple ton, what they call a Bearcat. It's a whole ass acronym, but up armored vehicle, right? the shit you kind of see like in SWAT, right? Those big ass trucks where people are hanging off on the side, like we had those, but not black because we're the military, we got to be different. But like seeing all 10 of those trucks rolling down next to a fucking tractor trailer, like you can see the shit on, like you can look it up online, but like that's where I got that sense of like, okay, cool, I got a purpose in it, right? Because like I said, like the bigger picture, when my first 2 years compared to my next 2 years, it was completely different. And then around 2018 when I got onto the job, that's when I started to really enjoy being back, having that bright-eyed airman type shit where I was like, okay, cool, I'm enjoying myself again. I'm enjoying why I joined the military.
So, because when I was like 19, I had a recruiter like try to recruit me for my job, and I was working at Home Depot, and he honestly, the only reason why he got me was because he was like, "I'll buy you lunch if you sit down with me," and I was like, "Hey man,
free food.
Look, if you trying to feed me, shit, sign me up." So I went. And I met with him like twice, and he was like buying me food and shit. And I was hearing him out, like I was really giving it an actual thought. But then I started like looking up YouTube videos of like boot camp and shit like that, and that was the ultimate reason why I was like, nah, I can't do that. So my question is boot camp actually the way that they make it seem?
So, was your recruiter Army, Navy? Do you remember?
I think it was
Airforce,
Army.
Marines.
Yeah, it was Army.
Yeah, so Army boot. So realistically, right between all the branches and stuff, Air Force kind of has it the easiest, especially within the last couple years. They've kind of transitioned once again because of where the world is now, right? The Air Force or military in general is slowly kind of catering to them, right? To the newer generation of airmen or soldiers or whoever, right? They're catering to the new masses, right? Mm-hmm. So, but in general, the Air Force kind of has it the easiest, right? Which, like, if you talk to any fucking military, right? We all know the general, like, jokes between us, right? We're called the chair force because we're pampered and all that stuff, like, the Army, the Marines, we tell them that they eat crayons, like, because that's how dumb they are. They just eat crayons for breakfast and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. The Army, right, you could be a fucking felon and join the military. Like, the Army accepts literally anyone. They don't, but I'm not saying, like, they do fucking hire or not recruit like convicted felons and shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like they're willing to like. That's why like everyone goes Army. Army is probably like I think is our biggest branch, and because of the fact that they don't care, they'll hire anyone. Like, but so yeah, but our Air Force specifically, like I think we have like one of the easier boot camps. Right, we don't even call it boot camp; we call it basic training, right? Mm-hmm. So it already kind of shows you like the difference between like Army, who says boot camp, and we call it basic, right? But I mean, the aspect of them yelling at you and kind of like grilling into you, it does happen, but it also is depending on who you get as a drill sergeant or what we call a MTI or military training instructor, right? Because like mine, they had two personas, right? They had the typical, hey, I'm gonna yell at your face, tell you, hey, fix your shit. I'm gonna keep screaming at you if you keep stumbling over your words. I'm gonna keep yelling at you until you fucking say a word, right? But then when we're inside our dorm, right, or our living quarters and shit, they were chill. They talk to us like we're human, right? So it was definitely, it was nice to kind of have those two because I've heard from other, other people in the military and like their experience in basic, like they never had that. They never had that person where they're like, oh yeah, we can shoot the shit, keeping that barrier between, like instructor and student, but it's kind of I wouldn't say blur the lines, but kind of get us in a comfortable state, right? Where, like I said, we were joking and all that stuff, but like as soon as they came into the room, we're like, oh shit, like, hey, sir, like, training we reports his order, like, how many times like our MTI like comes in, but it's a Sunday, right? Sunday is our chill day. We don't do anything, and we're sitting here bullshitting, yada yada yada, and our MTR just walks in, right? We're like, oh shit. He looks around and he goes, all right, y'all are good. And we're like, oh, okay. Like,
oh, wow.
Especially like one Sunday, we're doing laundry, right? We're just having a good time. People are, we're singing. I remember we're singing "My Way," the unreleased Drake verse on it, right? And we had the whole bay just singing it. There's like 30 of us just singing it while we're doing laundry, and in the middle of our bay was this concrete wall with openings on top, and we had like 5 of us all across our bay, just so that way like if someone on the other side of the wall, their clothes were like done or being folded or whatever, we would toss it on that side. So we toss it to the middle person, toss it on the other side. So I'm up there, right? Like I said, we're all singing, whatever. We're just jamming, right? No music. We're just singing. And our MTI walks in and we're like, oh shit. And we're like, us up on top, we're like, what do we do? We're just going to stick here and just be like at attention sitting on the fucking, on the wall. So he was like, all right, cool. Like, what are you guys doing? Sorry, we're doing laundry. All right, cool. And we're so nervous. But then he goes, you guys want to listen to some music? And we're like,
wow.
And we're like, we got bright-eyed, dude. We're like, we can hear music? What?
Wow.
So, and then for the next hour, he just sat in his office, did his own thing, but brought out his speakers and just played music for us. And we were listening to his music, so he was listening to some oldies. But, like, we were still, all of us, right?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. All of us were still jamming out because, like, we don't have, like, our phones with us, right? And we get our phones. I think I got my phone, like, 3 times throughout my whole, 8 weeks, which was the very first night to just call my parents to be like, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I made it, I'll call you when I can.
Wow. And did you cry?
Yeah, the second time was they were just like, hey, you guys have been doing good, so here, we're going to reward you guys. Here's your phone, right? And then lastly was before I graduated, and just tell them, hey, have my graduation. So we didn't have our phones with us the whole entire time. But then
how many weeks is it though? How many months?
Like we were able to purchase. It was 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 8 weeks, 2 months, or just about 2 months. And then like we're able to purchase like a little prepaid AT&T fucking cards where you put it in a payphone, right? And you see it too. What they call a BX, right, or a base exchange. You see a huge line of trainees all waiting to use one payphone, like, and it's a simple like, you put in the card, whatever, right, and then you're like, you call whoever, right? So like I call my mom, and usually my dad's with them, and then like talking to my family. So I'm like, hey mom, hey dad, like everyone, like I'm doing good, just bullshitting for like a couple minutes, and it's like, okay, hey, I gotta go, like, and then just move on about my day, right?
Yeah.
So like that was our only means, and other than that was like sending letters and stuff. Like the letters was like our biggest thing too, because it was just like every day we'll I think like once or like twice a week we'll have like mail come in or whatever, or every day, I don't remember. It's been a while. But we have mail come in, right? And all right, cool. Like, hey, trainee fucking Torres, like, just saying names right, and we were able to read them. So having those letters kind of help a lot too, because you're kind of just like isolated from the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything going on the outside. Like, I didn't know like what my family was doing, and like those letters, like I said, it helped a lot. So yeah, I mean, so like in other aspects too, right? So like I said, right, they'll grill into you and shit. Like one instant, I got chewed out. I tried to stay like underneath the radar, right? But my first week there, we had we kind of had like additional duties, right? So
Yeah.
we have to, they taught us how to like keep everything orderly and all that stuff. So so we have to make sure our bay was clean all the time, right? So everyone picked like all the nice ones, like laundry, fucking the bed organizer, the shoe organizer, like all this shit, right? So I got stuck with doing the bathroom, right? So I'm like, fuck whatever, right? I was like, cool. All right, fine, I'm gonna do that. And then I remember my dad told me, whatever you do, don't be latrine queen. Be on like the latrine crew or the bathroom crew, but don't be the head lead. I was like, bet. Say less. I'm gonna keep my head down, right? So it was like our second day, and we're cleaning whatever, right? And we're cleaning the bathroom, and my MTI walks in. He's like inspecting it. He goes, "What the fuck is this? Like, it's dirty still." And obviously, it's our second day, so we're trying to do our best, but we never found like that good method of cleaning and keeping things spotless. So I was talking to one of the guys, one of my buddies, Leewit, and he was latrine queen, right? And we said like it's a common joke about it, but this day and age, people would get butthurt if I say latrine queen, right? But I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he was latrine queen, right? So he comes in, he's getting yelled at, getting grilled. I'm sitting next to him, or standing next to him, because I was like, we were talking about it. He's like, yeah, you know what? You're gonna be my like my right hand man. Like we had it like set. And so he's getting grilled at. I'm just standing there like right next to him. Right? I was like holding a mop or some shit. And my NTI looks at me. He goes, "Who the fuck are you?" I was like, "Sir, trainee reports his orders." He goes, "What do you do?" I was like, "I'm just help." And I looked at my buddy Leewit. He looks at me. I was like, "Well, fuck." Like, so I was like,
That sucks.
God damn it. So now I have to fucking make sure that this shit's spotless, or it's my ass I get in trouble. And so yeah, right. So then like I said, like another incident I had where I got yelled at. I didn't even mean to, right? I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I always got yelled at. I didn't say I always got yelled at, but I just so happened to be in a situation where I get yelled at. So there's one time we're going to dinner or lunch, I think. So they teach us, right? And you can look, like I said, you can look all this shit up on YouTube. Obviously, you've seen it yourself, right? So in basic, they teach us the buddy system, right? You never leave an airman behind, right? So you always have to have someone with you. So we're like, cool. So one day we're eating lunch. We're like, whatever. I get done. I leave, right? So about like 10, 15 minutes later, an MTI, a random MTI walks up to our bay. We let him in, and they're like, who were the last two eating? Or some shit. And it was like me and some other dude. I was like, sir, training we and training so-so, right? They're like, all right, cool. Do you have everyone? And we're like, I don't know. Like, we're up here. Like,
Yeah. You don't know shit. You just...
So we did like a roll call, right? We just making sure everyone was here, and we're missing one dude, right? And we're like, fuck. not gonna say his name, right? But
Say his
he
name.
was. Alright, so this dude Greenwood, right?
No, don't say that.
This dude Greenwood. Yeah. Who, bro? First of all, like, I barely talk to anyone from my basic, like,
You don't?
but no, hell no. But okay, I'll get. That's a whole nother tangent about like keeping in contact with like military people and shit. But anyways, so yeah, so I'm like, everyone knew in the Bay. You're just like, I'm like, fuck. So I was like, all right, cool. So we go down, like me and my buddy. We're like speed walking. You can't run. Like you have to march everywhere you go, right? Because it's that discipline. So, but we're like speed walking. Like we're matching, and like you're all supposed to like march together, right? So both of your left foot should be hitting at the same time. But like we were matching speed, getting to the dining facility, right? So we get in, right, and like I'm looking, all like with all the trainees and stuff from different weeks. I'm looking for Greenwood, and I just see him, and he got injured. I think earlier in that week. So like I'm looking for him, and I just see him like kind of slunched over, like just staring at his food tray. He had his crutches right next to him. I'm like, so I beeline it, just trying to avoid any contact with any MTIs, right? I beeline it to him. I'm like, Greenwood, let's go now. As soon as I like helped him up, I heard trainee. I was like,
Fuck.
like I'm just trying to get out, right? So, in the middle of like the dining facility, it's called the Snake Pit. It's all where the MTIs sit, and like they'll call you up. You're supposed to report in, and they will also just grill you in front of everyone. Right? It's an open area, right?
Yeah, no, that wouldn't
So
work for
think
me.
of it like sitting in the lunchroom at Lake Park. Yeah, like think of it as sitting in like the middle of the lunchroom at Lake Park, getting grilled by teachers.
Nope.
Literally what happened, right?
No.
So so I heard, trainee, get over here now. So I'm like, I looked up and there's like 7 MTIs just staring at me, dude. And I was like, okay, I march over, right? I stand in front of them, and both my MTIs are sitting there,
Yeah.
and they're just staring at me. And I'm like, oh fuck. And like the lead they usually have a master sergeant kind of leading over everyone, right? So she looks at me and she goes, "Do you know what's wrong, trainee we?" I was like, "Ma'am, trainee reports his order." And you have to, when you respond to everyone, that's what you're saying. You say, "Ma'am" or "Sir, trainee reports his orders" before you even answer. So I was like, "Ma'am, trainee reports his orders. I understand why I'm here, ma'am." And she goes, what's our biggest thing that we harp on?" I was like, "Never leave an airman behind, ma'am." She's like, "Okay, so why the fuck is Greenwood sitting here by himself?" I was like, "Ma'am, I was one of the first few people to leave the dining facility." And she's like, "I don't care, trainee." I was like, "Okay." Just standing there.
Damn. You know the craziest part
so I
is
got
it's
grilled for,
probably
like,
not even personal.
5 minutes straight.
It's probably not even something where
none
like
of it
she's
is, but
yeah.
yeah, it's literally just to, like I said, right, to get us that discipline, right? So they're grilling us for no fucking reason. I'm just like, "Yes, ma'am." Not even like staring at her, dude. I'm like staring at the back of the wall because I'm just like, don't really make eye contact. So I was like, all right, cool. So
I probably would have cried.
me and my buddy, we grab Greenwood and we walk back. And while we're marching back, I'm like, "Greenwood, bro, you have to say something, man. We can't be doing this. I don't want to be yelled at, man." And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to." I'm like, "Dude, there was a bunch of us at the table. Why didn't you just say something?" Like,
So what happened? What was wrong with him? Why didn't he leave?
I think he like twisted his ankle or something. I don't remember. But I remember he was just on crutches.
Oh wait, so he was on crutches the whole
So I
time,
was like,
and y'all just left him.
well, so like there was like I think 10 of us or like 12 of us at the table. Don't shake your head at me, motherfucker.
That's so you.
No. No, I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna let you know right now, right? There is no such thing like when everyone was just trying to get the fuck out. Like you learn, like you eat quickly and you leave. It's just so like shit, like you avoid being in there
He's
as
on
much
crutches.
as you can. Like I had one dude, Torres. I had one dude, Torres, who did not give a fuck. He would sit there like eat all casual and shit. Like he was ballsy, but you be sitting there like, man, I'm eating my eggs, I'm chilling. Like, nah, dude, I am scarfing food and like leaving within 5 minutes.
So why do you have to
of me
leave so
sitting there.
fast?
I'm well because and like they kind of in that first couple weeks they kind of like. Because you have a lot of shit to do like that entire day, right? So you just eventually learn to like eat fast, like you. Yeah, it's having a sense of urgency, right? So they kind of ingrained that. So like I've learned like I can sit down eat like for breakfast. I had like egg, sausage, bacon, yogurt, and like a little cup of peanut butter. I
Was
ate
it
all
good,
of that within like 5 minutes. No. No. The food's not good, man. I mean, it's edible, right? I kind of compare it to like some hotel food, you know?
No, because
like
hotel
breakfast
food is
shit,
actually good. I like hotel food.
It's
I
edible.
enjoy
Like
hotel food.
Okay, it depends on the hotel, but we're not gonna get on that, right? But yeah, so like you still get yelled at, like as much as like other branches wants to shit on us for like having like the easiest one, we still got yelled at. But
Others
what
were more.
I liked about our MTIs was they yelled at us, but then it hurt more when they gave us the disappointed dad talk. You know, that's when we were
I can
like,
see that.
"Shit, we fucked up."
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, you know, and like most of us were just like, in that moment, we're like, "Okay, yeah, we fucked up. Like, let's do better so that way we don't disappoint them because how good they've been to us."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like they teach you like the military bearing, right? Keeping a straight face while you're at attention, you know, the sense of urgency, like being like having that discipline. They'll still ingrain like to this day, but it's at least from what I've heard. Like I don't necessarily know because I haven't been in. Like once again, basic is a one-time fucking thing, right? So when I went in, shit, the difference between when my brother fucking got in and when I got in were completely different. When my dad, and then when my dad joined, and then when my brother joined, were completely different. But then also, when my dad joined, it was still like, I could get hands on with you.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, like physical,
they can, like, and yeah, they can grab you by the collars and like, yo, what the fuck, type shit. Yeah. But now they don't. They don't do that shit. Because obviously, once again, you know, they developed over the course of years. But like, you know, it's kind of fucked up that we're just like slamming these trainees up against the fucking locker and be like, yo, bitch. Like,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, that's like our basic in a nutshell is, like I said, like throughout all branches, they kind of teach you that. They teach you like having a sense of urgency and having that military bearing, that discipline. Learning how to march. Even though when we go operational, like you hardly use like marching. Like
Right.
I don't march at all.
So what's the marching for?
You know, like for formal, huh?
What's the marching for?
Just having that like military bearing, like I said, so like looking professional, looking crisp. Like
okay.
you go from that first very week where you don't know shit, you're seeing people march, dude. Like, so like how we normally walk, right? Your left foot hits, you swing your right arm, right? But then there's people who like you have to take it into like a very stiff manner, but looking like crisp. And there are people who are like, I don't know how to march. So, and then especially getting yelled at, they kind of fumble their brain, and now they're marching like with their left foot, swinging their left arm, right? So you just look goofy as all hell. Like they're just doing like this robot walk and shit, like doing this the whole time.
I mean,
and you're
maybe
like,
it's harder than it looks.
and obviously now
but
you're getting yelled at to get your shit fixed. Oh,
you just
dude,
walk.
like, so like at first, like it is a like learning curve a little bit, but like once you got into it, like marching was easy. Like I said, you're marching everywhere too. So doing like I said, it could be us as a like a 50, 60 man like flight, or it could be like me and 3 other people. Right?
Oh wow.
Like, yeah, but you're still doing what they're teaching on a daily basis, like on your off time, right? Even when, like I said, those Sundays where we went to chow and all that stuff, we did it by ourselves because they're trusting us to do it, right? But we're still keeping that bearing even when our MTRs are not around and shit. So, yeah, like I said, I'm like marching, unless you're doing like honor guard, where like at sporting events you see the people in uniform with the flag bearers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
When we do like the national anthem, all that stuff. Like, unless you're doing that, I don't march ever. Like, I don't.
Are there some people
but
that
like I
don't?
said, it's just teaching you.
Are there some people that don't make it out of basic?
Yeah. It happens, right? So it can vary, right? It's because you can't run a mile and a half, or there's because of medical issues, right? Or like right? Medical issues is the biggest thing, like asthma. Asthma is the biggest like contributor, right? But a lot of people had exercise-induced asthma, where obviously like now we're working on a daily basis, running PT every fucking day, or not like physical therapy, but we call it PT or just working out, right?
Right.
You do that every fucking day in the morning to start your fucking day, and a lot of people never doubt that in their fucking life unless you're an athlete, obviously. So it's like people struggle with that, but then eventually get better. But there are people who actually have like legitimate medical conditions, or they don't, the biggest thing about like the military too, right? They like when the recruiters, right? They tell you, hey, there is nothing wrong with you. You are healthy as you can be. And you'd be like, well, sir, like I have this going, and they're like, no. You are fine, because
Why would they say
essentially, right, the recruiter's job is to recruit you,
that?
right? They have a quota. That's beautiful. They have a quota to meet, right? So they're trying to recruit you. So the reason why they're doing it is so they can meet the numbers. So you can ask any military member, right? They'll tell you to lie.
That's why he was buying me food.
It happened. Yeah, like, well, buying you food is just like, it's just like a little fucking, a drop in the fucking cup, right? But like, that's like, there's a whole process to like the recruiting that you actually legitimately go to school for to become a recruiter and stuff. So like, they're taught these tactics and stuff to kind of reel you in, like this bright-eyed fucking high schooler, like, oh, I want to join the military, right? So food, for example, right? Yeah, right? Trying to build in a rapport with you, and then but like when you go through the process, you're like, okay, cool, like you're about to be sent off. Hey, do not say anything. Whatever you do, don't, because, like I said, they're trying to meet the quota, right?
Right.
So
you know what this man told me? He was like, because one of my reasons for not trying to join was, I was like, well, I really want to be a professional dancer, and I was like, I want to try to do that. He was like, you could be a professional dancer in the military. He was like, yeah, like I got friends who dance all the time. And I was like, yeah, but like, no, I want to do it for real. Like, actually, no, dude, honestly, you could really dance. You could sing, you could dance, you could do anything you want.
All right. Yeah, that dude was blowing smoke up your ass. He was trying to get your ass. He was like, this motherfucker's stupid as hell. He wants to dance? Bet. I'm gonna lie to him, bro. Hey, so yeah. So singing, you can definitely do. Singing for sure you can do, right? There is for us, we have an Airforce band, like a legitimate band. Not like, like a marching band, like like an actual rock band. Which I don't know if they've been actually relevant in the fucking years I've been in. But so that's kind of like especially where the military is now with social media, specifically TikTok. Like, you go on TikTok and you start seeing all these military content creators, right? And you can do that. It's kind of frowned upon because being a content creator, right, you have to push out content, right?
Right.
So a biggest thing they kind of ingrained to us getting into the military, almost like growing up in the military, getting into the military and learning throughout the years, is try to minimize your exposure as a military personnel, right? So don't wear your uniform out in public. Don't, because of the war on terror, right? You look at ISIS or shit going on around now, right? Where China and Russia, right? They are gathering intel. They're using that as intel, right? So it's just showing. Obviously, it's just one person posting on fucking TikTok, but then it's also because of the fact that they're using it as propaganda against us. Right? Hey, these people don't know how to do their job because they're too busy fucking doing TikToks and shit, right? That's why it's as much as obviously, like I said, military members are more and more making content, it is still in my opinion, not a good thing to do. But obviously, people are gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do, so more power to them, whatever, right? But fuck, I lost my train of thought. Fuck,
happens all the time.
I lost my train of thought. That's what happened.
Happens to everybody.
Huh?
I said it happens to everybody.
Yeah, but so it's just like I said, social media is a huge factor, and obviously it's kind of a double-edged sword because we're trying to use it to connect with the community, right, the civilian populace. But then, like I said, our adversaries are using it as propaganda, pretty much. So it's they teach us minimize your exposure as a military personnel, because which is hard.
So what we're doing right now is not a great idea,
right? It's a small. No. This is fine, right? Because no. So trust me, this is fine, right? But like I said, they're military people who are showing themselves in uniform and stuff. And they teach us not to do that, right? But it's hard too because if you go into a military town, they can see military people, right? They can spot you in civilian clothes because the way you act, the way you hold yourself, the way you dress, your hairstyle, in Montana, it's a small small, right? Hey, the population is fucking 50,000 or so, but it's one of the bigger cities. But everyone knew who the military people were. You can be spotted. Cool. Hey, you're military. You have your military ID. And you're how the fuck did you know? And it's you're the way you dress, right? Especially like I said in Montana, where you have me who's dressing up in fucking jeans, a pairs of J's, and a backwards hat, right? A flat, a snapback, in a kind of country-ass town.
Oh.
Yes. It's very noticeable, right? But here in Colorado, it's I could blend in a lot more because we're not necessarily a metropolitan, right? We're not big as Denver or Chicago. But we're still a decent sized city where I don't stand out as much, but I still can't stand out, right? So that's why, like I said, like they teach us this stuff because, you know, what if some random Joe Schmo wants to go crazy and wants to target military people?
Right.
Well, if you're in uniform, like you're an easy target, right? Like it's not. Obviously, you're the only person in uniform in a crowd of fucking 100,000 people, right? So I can easily just pick you off compared to me just as a civilian, dressing in normal shorts and fucking some Crocs, and blending into the environment. Okay, now I have to kind of pick and choose. You know,
Is it different with
So-
every city that you would go to as far as like the rules with that?
No. So it's more of a unwritten. I wouldn't say unwritten rule, but it's kind of like in that it's not like, hey, you need like if you're out in uniform, like you're gonna be punished. It's not like that.
Right.
It's just more like, hey, like be mindful of what's going on, mindful of your surroundings. Like if you have to be in uniform, like say I'm getting off work and oh fuck, I forgot to go to the grocery store. Let me go into the grocery store real quick. Like it happens. I've done that. Right. I'm coming off of work or or like I have to go get gas. I'm in uniform. I can't really do anything, you know. But they're saying like don't go out like oh I'm gonna go run to like GameStop, right? Or I'm gonna go like get my like I said, it just depends on like what you're doing. But they just say like as a general like hey like traveling in uniform, right? Unless you're like actually required to travel in uniform, don't travel in uniform. Like when I came back from my deployment, I had to travel in uniform. And I
You
was
did
like,
get deployed.
I don't like that because now there's a bunch like, you know, God forbid that ever happen, right? But if someone wants to shoot up an airport, once again,
Oh.
it's gonna look really fucking good on the news. Like, oh, all these military fucking personnel all got shot.
I see.
Like, yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's why they tell us like, hey, like if you can, try not to be in uniform outside. But once again, like I drive to work, you know, or I'm driving coming from and to work. I'm in uniform, so I'm like, you can see me in a car. Hey, that's a military personnel. Like, cool, right?
Yeah.
There's obviously things that I can't control, but if I can mitigate it, I can mitigate it.
You're just like minimizing it if you can.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what, like, did you get to, my other question was like, did you pick to go to Montana or was that like picked for you? Did you get a choice with that?
So, I picked it, right? My brother told me, don't fucking do it. It's a trap. Don't listen. And I was like,
What?
all right, bet. But then I was like, fuck. So, like, when you go in the military, right, when you're getting closer to your tech school, or I think it's while you're in tech school. I can't remember. I think it's while you're in tech school. But pretty much they give you they what they call a dream sheet, right? So it's a list of 8, both stateside and overseas. You pick the 8. It doesn't matter what rank you have it. It's just 1 through 8. Pick 8 bases, right? And then same thing overseas. So what I chose, I chose Japan for my overseas. I chose Germany for my overseas. England, and then I did like Vegas, Texas,
Las Vegas.
Carolina, like one of the Carolinas, Utah, and Montana was literally my 8th choice. And yeah, right. But like I said, around that time where I joined was still like they're about to just transition into PRAP, right? So the nuke bases are in high demand for airmen, right? Because it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest mission that we have here stateside, right? Like I said, there's other bases that have like high up missions, but once again, guarding nuclear assets, like, yeah, it's pretty important, right?
Yeah.
So that's always going to be like a priority. So when they're like reviewing all this shit, they're like, oh shit, he put Montana, haha, he got it. So as much, yeah, because like other bases, if I didn't pick Montana, I picked another fucking base, It would just be like, okay, cool. What are the manning requirements for this base? Okay, they want X amount of airmen to come in. All right, cool. Hey, we're going to send them here, right? So that's always what's happening in the process. So yeah, like I said, like the nuke bases, they are always going to have a higher requirement to get airmen in.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the bases literally didn't mean shit.
Yeah,
Because of the fact that they're like, oh, he put Montana down, it's cool. He's going there. He's guaranteed to go there.
Did you at least enjoy it though when you went over there?
Yeah. So it really helped too when I was in Utah before I joined to like the outdoor aspect of life, right? Because obviously, growing up in the city, right, and where we lived, right. There's no outdoors thing we can do. We play fucking basketball. We go out to fucking the mall and shit. That's it.
Yeah.
But when I went down to Utah at the time, I got to actually enjoy hiking, skiing, and all that stuff. So being outdoors, so it was really nice doing that. And then with the military too, you learn like it's the base may suck for sure, but it's the people who make it, who are stationed there that make it like what it is, right? So. And then also to what you do, right? So if you have great friends, but you choose to stay inside your dorm all day, that base is going to suck, right? That area is going to suck because you didn't do anything. So, yeah, I really enjoyed Montana. Montana's really beautiful. I mean, it sucked because where the base is at, it's like central Montana. So anywhere, all the other cities I would have to go to are over an hour away, right? The closest city was Helena, which is the capital, I believe. It's an hour away. If I want to go to Billings, which is 3 hours away, or I want to go to Missoula, it's 3 hours away.
I see.
So, but fortunately enough, too, the furthest missile alert facility or MAF I had to go to was also 3 hours away. So I got comfortable driving 3 hours away to go work for a week, or for a couple days, right?
That's insane.
Eventually, so it made it a lot easier to be like, okay, cool. If I have to drive 3 hours to just work, I can easily make a 3 hour drive to go actually have fun. So, but yeah, there's a lot of beautiful spots in Montana. Like you have Glacier National Park, which I recommend fucking going because it's beautiful. Even if you can just drive through there and it's fucking gorgeous, right?
Oh, I love shit like that.
Yeah, so it's Montana's nice. Like you could do a lot of stuff. I went skiing there for my first time, and it was fun as hell. I go hiking all the time and shit. So it depends on the actual area your base is at. So if you don't have like a lot of things in that town or that city, yeah, it's gonna suck. But that's why being outdoors and learning, getting more hobbies and stuff was fun. And then in our career field too, our pastime was if we're not working, we're drinking. So most of the guys I knew always always having parties and shit, always drinking, whatever. So like you'll find what
like a little college experience.
But like I said, like if you're just it's such that's what I tell people too. I'm like, the military is just college with more responsibility. Realistically. Because the fact that like, if you want to go to school, you can go to school. Like you can do that. But like, especially as a young airman, right? Like 19, 20, 21, right? People are going out having parties, going out to the bars and stuff, like doing whatever, like just like college.
Lit.
But like I said, you just now have a responsibility to go to fucking work every day. Like
Interesting. So, after you moved over to Colorado, was that an easy switch because they're so similar? It is just off an assumption, but was it an easy switch because of the similarities?
So, Uh, I guess like in a sense, yeah. So when I moved down here to Colorado, or moved up here technically, because Montana or Colorado actually sits at like 6,000 some odd feet compared to Montana where I was only at like 3,000, right? So technically, even though I'm moving south, you technically move up. Whatever, right? That's not the point. But it was yeah. It was it wasn't a bad transition coming down here. I actually enjoyed it a little bit more being down here because, like I said, I have being enjoying the outdoors like in Utah and in Montana. Like it was nice, but I kind of did miss having like a city in a sense, right? So it was a good like here is a good mixture of the two because there's a lot of like if you go west of the city, you get the Garden of the Gods, a nice, easy hiking spot, right? I can go drive up north for an hour to go to Denver, right? And even then, like around Denver area, there's so many places you can go for hiking. So it's like Colorado is like a really nice, happy middle of like I said, what I want, which is both an outdoorsy life, but also a nice city life that I can go out occasionally or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the transition coming down here was honestly a lot easier, because like I said, like I got to enjoy the area a little bit more than Great Falls. But when it came to the work, I mean, it was easy too because after taking like a couple weeks off of on vacation, whatever, I came back to work, and that was actually I did less than I did up in Montana. So I was like, shit, I don't have to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
fuck. So
That's cool.
at first it was nice, but then it kicked in again, right? It's like I said, when I went to Convoys, I was up here. Then coming to Colorado, I'm back down here, right? And I'm like, at first I was like, cool, fine, whatever. But then when I was told like, yeah, you're not doing shit out here, I was like, all right, like that's cool, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm here for 4 years. Like, yeah, I could try to get orders and stuff. I can try to PCS again or whatever, right? But I was like, you know what? Let me do my time. I like this area, so we'll see, right? And then I eventually got my deployment out of here, so it was a nice fucking 5 months away, and then
Wow.
What's it called? Then I went and did my little trip to Thule for a couple months, or to Greenland. So it's like
Nice.
there's still opportunities here that I can do to progress my career,
Yeah.
But as work related, like it's very like slow.
Yeah, but like because I went over the summer to Colorado. I went to Denver and like Boulder and like that area over there. Dude, I loved it so much. Like right now, I really want to try to move there. Like I'm still in between on it, honestly, because of just like I got a lot to leave behind. But the just atmosphere and the people and like everything over there was like anything that I could have ever dreamed of. And I'm like, yo, my lease is up in February, so I mean, fuck it, right?
I mean, so I remember because I was talking to Gene about it too, right? I understand like the whole aspect of like what you're leaving behind. So like that's like the biggest struggle for like obviously majority of people who are joining the military is leaving what they leave behind. But and it depends on how you are, right? Because some people, even being in the military, they're still like homesick, right? Oh, I wish I could be home. I wish I could do this, right? Then there's people like me who, even before the military, I actually enjoyed being away from Illinois, right? Those couple months really actually helped me develop that sense of like, I can be, yeah, it sucks. I can be homesick still, but like being away from family, but still doing my own thing, it's not bad, right?
Yeah.
It's just like I said, it's just how you handle it, right? Um, but yeah, like for me, like I love it here. I can wherever I go, like I'll be completely fine, right?
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, there's some people who are like, fuck, I'd rather just be home. Like I wish I got orders to somewhere closer where I could be. You know, like uh, like there's a base in like Southern Illinois, like close to like St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Like I could be that person where I'm like I could get stationed there, drive the 3.5, 4 hours up to Chicago, and then be with family, right? But then I was like, I already told myself that being in Illinois is not where I want to be anymore. I don't want to
Right.
live there. I don't want I'll always
Me
do the
either.
time to like come visit you and Gene, visit family or whatever. But I don't see it being in my future of living there, right? So like because ultimately for me, like I rather stay out here in Colorado or move to Utah. Like those are my two ideal places that I want to move, right? So it
Those are beautiful things.
but I mean, I honestly like I told Gene this too. I'm like, dude, like make that push. Don't
Yeah.
like if you're sitting on it, like yeah, sit on it, think like think it over and stuff. But honestly, go for it because I like. But I understand it. Like it's a huge fucking thing to do, right?
Yeah.
To just get up and leave,
Right.
right? And you're you're talking to a fucking guy in the military who has to do it like roughly every 4 years, right? Or
Yeah.
however often I get orders, right?
Yeah.
To do it, right?
I don't want to live here for the rest of my life, though. I know that for a
But
fact.
but that's what I'm saying, right? How long are you willing to just wait?
Right.
Oh, excuse me.
'Cause, I
How long are you
mean,
willing to wait?
realistically, I just want to make sure it's the right time for me because, like, it ain't even really about the family and stuff like that because I do live on my own already and I don't see my family every day and stuff like that. But for me, it's more like career wise with like the dance situation and going from a big city to a smaller dance community. It feels like almost taking myself backwards in a way. But that's probably the only thing
Yeah.
that would really stop me from going. But everything else is just like, nah, fuck that. I would like that. I would want to be there. I like everything that they have to offer.
Yeah.
I like the town and everything. I like the city, like the little tiny city life that they have. It's so much more calmer than like a downtown Chicago situation where everybody's on top of each other. It feels a lot more relaxed and like you can
Yeah.
breathe out there a lot more, And that's the reason why I really want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Like, like I said, like, even in the springs, it's so much nicer, even from like Denver. Yeah, you have parts of Denver where it's on top of each other, right? But like, well, it's like every other fucking metropolitan, right? It's gonna be that way. But you're absolutely right. You can live in like Boulder, which is nice. It's still a college town, but
Yeah.
it's small enough where it's not nothing too crazy as Denver. Same thing with the Springs, and the Springs right now is growing, right? Because in the last couple years, it just built up an Amazon plant up here, so they're bringing in a lot of fucking people here. So like around my neighborhood, they're building like or like couple streets each direction. They're building new town or like apartments and townhomes and fucking houses and shit. Like
Yeah.
the spring and the cost of living fucking sucks here. I'll fucking admit it. The cost of
Really?
living sucks. Like it's bad. Like,
Damn.
dude, rent for a 1 bed, 1 bath is like 1,500.
1 bed, 1 bath?
Yeah, like and that's like a good like a pretty.
What about like
decent fucking, nice
a
apartment.
a rundown kind of apartment, like a 1 bedroom kind of run down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean you're still looking at like maybe 1,200, 1,300. But like, but you also have to go to like South the Springs, where
Yeah.
that's we call we everyone knows like going So there's a major. The way that the Springs works is there are three major roadways that run vertically through Colorado Springs. So the one in the middle is Academy. And if you go South Academy across Platte, everyone knows, like, if you go south of that, that is a whole different area. That is, like, ghetto. Now, I'm talking about ghetto. Like, you know, typical shit you see kind of, like, out on the south side of Chicago, right? Fucking rundown buildings, fucking, like, shitty and, like, shady-ass fucking Walmarts and shit. Like, you're like, oh, fuck, like, am I going to get shot today? Like, how it is in the Springs. So, like, you can find places that are, like, dirt cheap or dirt cheap
I'm
here.
over there.
But then you're also losing that same conditions, right? You get what it's worth out of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it sucks. Trust me.
Hey, look, I ain't got no problem with living in the hood. I'll go over there. Hey, give Bill some character.
But, I mean, yeah, but like I said, like, you know, you'll find your spots. You'll find, you know, maybe something that's within your price range and stuff. But, yeah, like, for sure. Like, honestly, dude, like, obviously I'm biased about it because, once again, I did it at such a young age that I'm, like, now where I'm, like, 100%. But
Yeah.
do it. Right?
I mean, it's the
understand,
same pricing as, like,
you know,
over
with the
here,
whole-
too, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, I mean, hell, who fucking knows? You may have a fucking opportunity even up at Denver, right? Or even doing it at a fucking, in, like, Boulder, or even down here in the Springs, right? Like, there's a lot of fucking places here that, you know, I always see fucking, you know, a shop that could be opened up, dude. Like, fucking put in the effort and fucking make it into a dance studio. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know how the dance. Well, you see what I'm saying? Is like, the opportunity is here. I don't know exactly how big the dance community is out here, but, you know, obviously you would know more if you know, doing research and shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I would rather take the chance and then just living on the what if, you know.
Right.
Right.
Because, like, for me right now, I'm trying to be more of a... I'm trying to be a performer. So, like, I need paid opportunities to hit a stage. And I don't think that they have much of that out there. So that's my only struggle. Yeah. For
sure. I mean, so I think if you went to Denver, I think you have a more opportunity there compared to, like, me being down here in the Springs. Because the only major sports teams we have is a fucking, like, a AAA fucking baseball team and now a fucking soccer team that really, I don't think is, like, up and coming anytime soon. Like, we just got a stadium, like, within the last couple years. But, like, the soccer scene here is fucking, like, minuscule. People would just go to just go, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I said, I think you'll have a better opportunity in Denver compared to being down here in the Springs.
Right. So, like, but, what's the... Is it a difference in the Springs and Denver? Like vibe-wise, or, like, scenery-wise, or, like, community-wise? Is it different?
So 100%, there's a huge difference between it because the fact that, like, Denver is very, like, left-wing, liberal, all that shit, compared to Colorado Springs where they're more conservative. So, like, down here, right, you see people open carry all the time, right? In Denver, like, that's a no-go. Like, like, even with concealed carry, right? Denver requires you to have their own concealed carry on top of having a concealed carry. So, like me, if I didn't have my Leosa, like, I can carry in all 50 states, no issue.
Right.
But if I didn't get my Leosa, I would have to go to a state that covers, like, I think Utah covers, like, Illinois, Arizona, Montana. Like, you can look it up, right? There's specific states that you can go to that cover, like, if you get a concealed carry through them, it covers certain states. Yeah, Denver says, fuck that, and requires you to have another concealed carry just for Denver itself. Stupid. Right? So, like, there's a huge difference. Like I said, like, down here, people don't give a fuck. People open carry all the time. I've seen the people with fucking revolvers. I've seen people with just pistols, right? They don't do anything crazy of carrying, like, an AR-15 like we see in fucking videos and shit. But, like...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's just like a... Cool. Like, all right. There's a guy carrying. Bet. Like, whatever. Like,
Yeah, I didn't see none of that in
You'll
Denver,
probably
right?
have a motherfucker say some shit to you if you carry in Denver.
Yeah, it's definitely it wasn't that kind of vibe at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
So
you gotta make a choice when it comes to all that stuff. I do.
yeah.
I like the people though. I really like the people. Now, would you say the people are different? Because you said they were like more conservative over there, but like I think I was drawn to just like how kind everybody was. Because I remember when I got off the airport, everybody was just super relaxed, nice to everybody. Like I would ask people questions and they would answer them no problem and shit like that. Like, and I remember when I got off the airport back at O'Hare and I came back to Chicago, it was like everybody was yelling at each other and people were like damn near fighting. It felt like, and I just remember going over there and it being so nice, you know.
I think I'd agree. Like, and obviously you all have those assholes here, but I think overall, I think Colorado, especially with the whole like legalizing weed for fucking so long, being one of the first fucking states.
We love to see it. Yeah,
like, it helped a lot for people to be calmer and shit.
Yeah.
But like, I think even before then, like I think Colorado's always just been nice and like people that in general people have been a little bit nicer. Like compared to fucking Chicago, like driving, like you fucking see to yourself. You go through Denver airport, you're like, wow, this is extra nice. Traffic's not bad. Like, no one's fucking jammed up and shit for like fucking 10 minutes. Like, I can literally go to my car and drive out of here clean, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Chicago, where you're like, fuck, let me make another loop and waste another fucking hour and a half trying to drive around because there's so much traffic and shit. And you're just trying to leave just to go down a road. You're like, yeah.
Sucks.
That's why, like, even comparing the two is just, it's nice.
Polar
like,
opposites.
You see a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
like, I feel like I was born in the wrong place because I just don't connect with this place no more. Like, I don't, like, and that's the reason why, like, I live, like, right outside the city is because I always have to be in the city for stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm damn near every day. But it's like, I just don't want to be in that shit. Like, I try to avoid it at all costs, and I'm like really close to the airport and shit like that, so I'm still hitting a little bit of the traffic sometimes. But like, I hate it here. Like, I don't hate it here, but like I hate just the fast pace. And everybody comes here for that. Everybody loves it. You know, everybody that I'm meeting and shit that are not from here, they come here for that reason specifically. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I'm not entertained by it. I'm not thrilled by it. I'm not really. You know, I like outside and shit. That's why I got all these fucking outdoor pictures and shit, because that's what the fuck I want to be. I want to be out in the fucking middle of nowhere by my fucking self, like smoking and shit. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be downtown having a fucking margarita at a fancy restaurant. That's not really my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, definitely. Like, that's why, like, I really enjoy having that experience of, like, obviously growing in the city where I'm like, before I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be in the city, I want to do all that stuff. But then first realizing damn, this shit's nice actually. Like, I love it. Like, I never thought to think of myself as an outdoorsy person, but like,
Yeah.
hell, I know this is great. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. Like, and like that's why, and that's why like here why it's developing so fast too, because like, with everything going on in California, and then like people moving to the Californians are moving down to Texas, and then now Texas people are moving up to Colorado. Like, it's a whole fucking clusterfuck mess, right? So, yeah, so it's just, yeah, it's like people. That's why I like, the cost of living sucks here, because it's developing so fast,
Yeah.
and people are moving in quickly. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
All right,
Don't worry, I'll be there
start building this place up, and then
very, very soon. Don't you worry about it. I'm on my way. That's like my number one place. It's like on my list. But I kind of my
sure.
real. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying, man, like, just go for it, man. Like I said, I'm biased about it, but are you gonna, like, you also got to think of yourself. If you don't do it, like, are you gonna regret 5 years down the road, 10 years down
Right.
the road?
Oh
like,
no, see, my mind is already made up. My mind is made up that I'm going. It's just, when do I go? Is it like, do I go right now? Do I wait until I'm 29, 30? Do I finish like my career off with dance here and then move over there for something more relaxed? And it's also like, all right, I just had a big accident and everything. It's like I got a second chance at life. Like, should I, the dance career is mostly here, so just little things like that. But I'm definitely going. Like, the question of like, am I going or not is not even up for discussion. Like, I'm definitely going. It's just a matter of figuring out when I need to make the change. You know what I'm saying? But definitely
no,
going.
for sure.
Yeah. But the last real question I wanted to ask you was, what has being in the Air Force like taught you about yourself? Like, what has it given you for yourself?
Fuck. One, how to fucking adult, for sure. Like, it's and like, you'll obviously you experience yourself, like we all experience adulting in a different sense, right?
Yeah.
But definitely for a military aspect of everything, is like, yeah, you're by yourself. Like, yeah, you have your friends and all that stuff, but like, yeah, once you, like, for a typical person who moves away from the family for the first time, like, fuck, like, it's rough sometimes. Right? You'll have your days where you're like, you're in your dorms, you're like, fuck, like, I miss like I said, like, you're homesick, you miss your family and all that.
Yeah.
And then once you start like getting out of the dorms and you're living by yourself, then you're like, fuck, like, I have to adult now. I have to go to the grocery stores and shit. So, like I said, like, adulting is still like, it taught me something. And then, honestly, like, especially everything I've gone through, like, knowing that like I'll always have like people that struggled the way I did, right? And kind of finding like your own community. It's what a blessing and curse about it is. It's like, you meet great people and then you leave and you lose those great people, right? So going back to kind of like how we talked about like keeping contact with people from basic and technical and stuff. Like, I don't like, we talk about all that shit, but then it really and all naturally fucking just falls apart because we all have our own lives and stuff. Like, I see, like, I'm all Facebook friends, or not Facebook friends with all of them, but I'm Facebook friends with a lot of people from my basic and technical and all that.
Yeah.
And like, I that's how I keep in touch, is like just seeing through that shit, right? But like, in the military, it's definitely like, you have to get used to like the idea of like, you meet your friends, you meet great friends, like even best friends out here, and then you leave, or they leave, and then it's starting that cycle over and over and over again, right? So like, I miss like my group of friends in Montana that I had, but I also had like 4 sets of fucking friend groups that I had over the course of the 4 years I was in Montana, and then here I had a whole couple sets of friends that I made here, and then just a couple months ago, one of my great friends, my best friend actually, we deployed together and shit. He fucking PCS, and we were both like that shit like tore me apart because I was like he was one of the homies type shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I fucking. It's something that like I said, like it's the hardest part, and like I said, like especially who I am now compared to how I was when I first got in. Like, I'm a very emotional person. Fucking. No. I'm a very emotional person, so like when that shit like happened, it was like it takes a toll on me a bit, but then like I'll get better and like make friends. But it's like I said, it's a whole ass cycle. So it definitely, like I said, like it's something that I've learned and got used to, obviously in the course of my career, and then yeah, like I said, like meeting people who deal with the same struggles as you, mentally, right? It's nice because, like, especially in our career field, we kind of, it's how bad it is. Like, you've seen it too, right? We joke about, like, we have, like, a dark sense of humor sometimes, right? Yeah. We say some, obviously, like I said, you know me. You've heard the fucking fuck shit I've said before.
Yeah.
Right? If you're like, all right, Chris, calm the fuck down. Like, we're joking and shit. Like, I'm over here fucking smiling out there, right? Yeah. But it's like, what I've learned in my career, right, is like our career specifically in military, just in general kind of have that dark sense of humor, but like specific career fields have that, like mentality. Mm-hmm. And so I've learned to like, obviously cope with everything I dealt with, right? And one of the ways was having that sense of humor, right? Joking about that shit. And like having a group of fucking friends that we all can joke about the same sense of same dark shit. And everyone else, all the civilians are looking at us like, oh my god, like, are y'all okay? Like, this is concerning now. We're over here fucking joking around. Like, we're all having a blast. So it's been a really good experience to like find people like that, and also like find people, like I said, who struggled the way I did, and like the community of that alone too. Like, there's still things that us as a career field and the military specifically too can improve on, with especially mental health and suicide.
Yeah.
But it is slowly getting better. But it also depends on like the older generation, because that's what kind of, unfortunately, kind of drives that narrative for suicide. Because you have a lot of old heads who would be like, you know what, fuck that dude's a pussy, or that girl's a fucking coward, whatever, right? And then you have other people who are like, you know what, we need to stop this, and will actually genuinely care and try to make a change out of it. So seeing both sides of those spectrums, like I said, especially in my experience, I've seen both, right? I've had a lot of people who cared about me, wanted to make that change. Then I also had a lot of people who were like, they cared, right? They tried to have some effort, but they never really gave a shit, or they didn't give a shit at all. Dude. So it definitely gave me like a tougher skin too, because like I said, as a cop, right? We're the first people that people see coming into base, right? We have some people who are really friendly at the gate, and they're always talking to people. So like, if that person one day just hasn't been showing up, some person would notice, right? Yeah. But the other people are just like, fucking whatever, right? There's a lot of people on my base we're majority like civilian like oriented. And there's a lot of civilians that really don't give a shit that we're here, right? They really don't. And there's some people who are like, oh my god, we're grateful to actually have you, and they'll give us stuff like food or drinks or whatever, like, show our appreciation, right? So, yeah, I mean, the military has honestly taught me quite a bit, but like those are the major things that like over the course of my career specifically that like I've experienced a lot and I'm grateful for. So
Yeah. Nah, dude, like the thing that would be the most draining for me would be the constant cycle of gaining and losing people over and over again. Because that's something that I struggled with for so long, like with me going to so many different high schools and shit like that, going to 3 high schools, meeting friends, liking them, and then I'm not allowed to be around them anymore, stuff like that. Like that put so many like walls up within me because I just felt like the cycle was gonna keep on happening. And like, all right, you gonna meet people, they're gonna be great, you gonna have a great time with them, and then one day you ain't gonna be able to talk to them anymore. And so it made me kind of like close myself off from being like friendly to people or be making new friends and stuff like that. So for me, being out there in that kind of situation where I know that every 4 years I might end up around different people. I mean, it could be a good thing because you do have the 4 years, and you know, as an adult, you know, you do have a lot of those like low maintenance friendships where you don't have to see them all the time, but you could like if you know what's up when you still see them and shit like that. So it could be maybe not that bad, but at the same time, just like if you really connect with those people and you really start to see yourself in those people or like see qualities in them that you really appreciate having around you, and then you can't be around them no more, that will like and like you know it'll probably do some damage.
Yeah, like I said, man, like. Yeah, for sure. And like I said, like I've had, multiple friendships that were for sure like low maintenance type shit, right? But then, my last two group of friends were like the biggest impact before I left Montana, right? Mm-hmm. Like you see my fucking calzone tattoo, like that's because of my group of fucking friends. Like I'm willing, like those are my like the homies, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, like I said, like and for me, that's like the biggest thing. But at the same time, too, it's like I'm used to it. So, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt every time it does happen. Especially meeting those good group of friends and shit. But it's something that like it's as you can. There's two ways to handle it, right? Is being able to talk about it with people or just like sucking the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the military. Like, it happens. So you learn to either do those two, right? There's nothing wrong with, obviously, like, missing your good friends and all that stuff. Like, I miss my fucking friends all the time. That's like back in Montana and stuff, right? But you got, you develop just, like, okay, cool. Like, I'll still keep in touch with them as much as I can. I'll still, like, do that shit, right? But then it's decided up to you. Like, my friends here, like, there's like I said, like I've already had a few friend groups here, and like right now I have like one major friend group, and they're the people that like, I've connected the most. I've like kind of talked about like my feelings and stuff, and we have those like serious talks and shit. So it's just really depending on those group of friends. But like I know whenever we go our separate ways again, like cool, like it's gonna be one of those moments where it's like it's gonna hit me. But then once again, I'm gonna find those group of friends, and it's a fucking repetitive cycle. That it sucks. It really does. But like I said, I'm used to it, and I'm okay with it now. But it doesn't mean that I'm not affected by it in a sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing is you've figured out your process with it. That's the most important thing. But kind of coming to an end now. But before we do go, we got to do my rapid fire question game. So I got like 3 questions that I ask, at the end of the show. They're not necessarily rapid. You ain't got to have no quick answer. If you want to elaborate a little bit more, that's totally up to you. They're just 3 little quirky questions. You know what I'm saying? So the first one is, what is, in your opinion, the best movie of the last 10 years?
Best movie in the last 10 years? Ooh, it's a tough one. Yeah. I would have to say, like, Infinity War Endgame. Honestly, they really have to go hand in hand. Me personally, I don't. so that's kind of hard thing too, because I went into like, especially when I like joined the military, like I got into like watching Marvel and all that shit.
Yeah.
And like those movies really like took a toll on me because growing up watching the first Iron Man, watching the Incredible Hulk, fucking the first Thor, like, are like, all right, cool, like this is cool, like they're building something, and then you kind of like see it all build up, and then watch it all come together, and you're like when I first watched Infinity War, I was just like, oh shit, like, damn, like 100% loved it, and then I watched Endgame, and I was like, bet, like they stepped it up. Ooh, just thought of another one. I actually would say this is even above Infinity War and Endgame, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3, bro, that shit had me in tears. I think it was a legitimate cry, but like I said, I'm an emotional guy. But fuck that struck a chord in my heart. That shit.
You cried actual tears.
I wouldn't cry. I didn't like, you know. I one teardrop, bro.
Dude.
Yeah. Like I said, like I'm like an emotional person, right? But like I said, like it goes back along with the whole like seeing the first Guardians of the Galaxy and seeing everything come to, and then like the third movie if you haven't seen it, right? Have you seen it?
No, of course not.
Okay. Okay.
Nah, dude, I fell asleep on Infinity War. Anyway.
God. All right. You know, that's a whole nother can of worms that we can open up another day. But, yeah, like, seeing the, like I said, everything just played out perfectly in the movie. The soundtrack, right? The action, the story itself, like, all those are, like in unison, dude. That will what win me over. Like some movies, like John Wick, right? Love it, right? All that stuff. The plot, I really could care less, right? I love the action of it, but like Guardians of the Galaxy, that like it had everything: character development, fucking the storytelling, the soundtrack, what they pick for those songs, like, or for those scenes, and then like the emotional roller coaster that it does bring you through. You're like, oh, fuck, you know. And once again, like it's a series that like I watched from like obviously the start. Not a huge fucking nerd when it comes to like Marvel and DC, but like I said, like just you know, it's kind of like the same satisfaction like people got from watching and reading the Harry Potter series.
Yeah,
it all comes around full circle, and you're like, you know, you develop with these characters. That's how I am with like the movies stuff. Like you watch them, all that shit, and you're like, fuck, like what's gonna happen next now? But yeah, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is, I think, by far the best movie I've seen in the last 10 years. Yeah. Like, even, like, me being, like, a huge Toy Story, like, I love Toy Story. Even
but that was, like, 20 years ago.
Like,
oh, okay,
yeah. Toy Story 4, it hit me, but, like, I still think there was a lot more they could do with the movie. Like, I think the story could have been polished a little bit here and there, but like I still enjoyed the movie. But like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I think by far, next to Infinity War and Endgame, has like brought me where I'm like everything about it was good.
You didn't see No Way Home?
I can nitpick here and there. Yeah, No Way Home was also fucking good.
I'm gonna just say
No, it was good.
I'm gonna just say that because that was the one for me.
But yeah, that's my pick.
Gotcha. All right, so number 2, this or that, a night in or a night out?
Night in, 100%.
That's the fuck I'm talking
most of the
about.
time I do is
that's what the fuck I'm talking about.
The most I mean, yeah, like I occasionally do like a night out, whatever. That's fine, but like most of the time, I'm sitting here playing video games. Like I'm chilling, chilling with my cat, chilling with my girlfriend. Like
stay in the house.
I'd rather do that.
Yeah, like, ain't nothing out there. Ain't nothing out there. I mean, every once in a while, you know, I'll go out there. ain't nothing outside for us.
Yeah.
Just you got everything you need in your house.
Unless like we plans like, but like that's the thing too. Like, I can plan on like going out, that night of or that whole entire day. I could be out all day, right? But I also can just be lazy as fuck and just stay in bed until like 1 o'clock and then be like, yeah, I can go up and do something, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I 100% choose staying in and going out.
Yeah, and I'm talking all this shit, but every time somebody asks me want to go out, I'm like, yeah, sure, fuck it, let's go. Like, I got no business acting like that. And they be like, hey, you trying to go out? I'm like, fuck it, why not? Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way too. Like, I'm like, I have a buddies who are like, oh yeah, let's go out and drink. I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, and I go out and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing my time. And then there's sometimes too where they're like, oh yeah, hey, we're having a party, come through. I'm like, yeah. As I'm still sitting here playing video games, like, my boxers, like I'm just chilling. Like,
exactly. Like I'm already settled in. I'm like in the bed already. You're not getting me outside. But if I'm like, I just got in the house and I'm still got some energy.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I might step outside for a quick, but I just want to have a good time sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm
100%.
I'm young,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
The last question is a question that I ask every single person because honestly, I'm just trying to use this question to build up my music library. So, what is your go-to song that puts you in your feels?
Okay, like
make you feel something.
See, like, there's many feels, like, right? There's something where I want to be emotional, right? Something where I want to let my anger out. Like, there's a lot of stuff, right? All right. So, I think, like, one of the, like, especially, like, when I consider, like, my feels, too, like, songs that, like, make me want to, like, sing, like, bust out, like, full blast in my fucking car, I'm jamming out to.
Yeah.
I would say, and, like, on TikTok, right, we've been seeing a lot of like these AI generated music and stuff. Carmen singing, fucking Adele or Plankton, whatever, right? If you look up, boy as in like BOI, that's not why, boy what, and you listen to Just a Pineapple, dude. My sister put me on this shit, and kid you not, I jam out to that all the time, bro.
Just a Pineapple,
bro. I'm telling you right now, Just a Pineapple, yes.
Is that a real song?
Yes.
Is it a person singing it, or is it a cartoon? Is it a joke?
It's SpongeBob singing it.
Man,
but it's an AI generated.
I'm talking about.
No, I am telling you. Bro, no. But that's, okay, you're talking about actual people, right? I don't give a fuck. You asked a song that will put me in my feels. I am telling you right now, even though those are fucking childish lyrics, right? It will still put you in your feels. 100%, dude. I jam out to that shit.
I gotta turn it down because I don't want to get copyrighted. But let me see. I'll be the judge of if this is a good song or not. It's country. Hold on, he cutting up.
Bro. Hey, man.
Wow. This is... Hold on. Wow. This home's just a pineapple. Wait, so how... Wait,
you see what I'm saying?
I'm lost. This is not a real song.
No. It is a real song. So, like...
By who?
It's someone who actually used the AI... by boy what? So, okay. So, I'm not saying it's not like a legitimate song made by, like, a artist.
Yeah.
It is a legitimate dude who is using with, like I said, the immersion or the rising trend of AI, especially the AI covers. This dude has been producing his own songs using SpongeBob.
Oh.
And making these fucking bangers, dude. All of his songs that he's produced right now are all fucking hits. For sure. I jam out to all of them. Specifically that one, Just a Pineapple, and then Plan Z. Plan Z, dude.
Plan Z.
Fucking, you may not like the rock, like rock and all that shit. At least I don't know, because like that was always my cup of tea, right? But like that shit, and hearing Plankton's voice.
This is not Plankton. This is
Plan Z.
Yeah, this is Plankton.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
This don't sound like it's like a dude, like a black. Oh wait, I can hear it. Oh, I do hear it. Now this one's kind of funny,
bro. As much as you want to make fun of it, you cannot tell me that this shit legitimately hits.
I mean, it's quality music.
It being like someone producing it, right, making the music and all this stuff, and making the lyrics, and then just putting an AI voiceover over it.
I like the Mr. Pineapple one better. He said, "This home
I see, like,
just a pineapple."
I mean, like I said, I really enjoy all those music, all those songs he make. I know, this home is just a pineapple, dude. Like, bro, I'm telling you, get that full song and listen.
Do you actually listen to this 100%. Though? Is this actually what you listen to? Like, yes, I want to feel good.
Yes. Yes, 100%. I fucking listen to that shit. I fucking like, dude. So like, I'm a big person when it comes to music, right? And listening to music, right? It's hardly a few times that I actually like want to be put in my feels because I'm more of a beat person than a lyrics person, right? I love listening to the beat. So if a song has a nice beat to it, like I could jam out to, all right, bet. Like I'll put that shit on. There's a few times where like a song that is like lyrically good will actually like, okay, cool, I'll listen to words. That's one of the few songs that I want to like listen to words, and you're like, oh shit, like,
wow.
You're like, you listen to it. He's obviously they're making a bunch of like SpongeBob references and all that stuff. But then it's also hitting in a way that they're making it into your feels. So you're like confused as shit, right? Yeah. So like, if I'm willing to be like in my feels and all this stuff, I'll listen to like NF, right? Because he's primarily like the main person that helped me through like my depression and all that stuff. Because he's one of the few artists that actually talks about like real shit, like being depressed, being like suicidal and shit.
What's his name?
Right, like NF. Let me see if I can find a specific song that like. Ooh, so I actually know this specific song. So it's "How Could You Leave Us" by NF.
How could you?
So that talks about his mom overdosing on like pills, right?
Oh wow!
That was the first song I ever listened to by him, and that shit almost brought me to tears. Cause like hearing the emotion in his voice while he raps and shit, dude.
Oh, he's a rapper.
Out of Michigan, white dude from Michigan.
This is about his mom popping pills.
Yeah, like overdosing and shit. And like how like he like how she could do such a thing and leave him and his sister behind type. Yeah.
Oh.
Like dude, 100%. Yeah.
I was gonna say this sounds like something from 2016, and I look and it's definitely from 2016.
Yeah. But then so like you listen to that, right? And then you go to his newest album, and listen to Mama. It's pretty much... So if you listen to both of them, right? How Could You Leave Us is like him dealing with it and him trying to understand it. Mama is him finally like accepting it and like forgiving his mom. Yeah, like... Yeah.
These are dark, by the way.
I'm telling you, like, you listen to those two songs, like, you'd be like, holy fuck. And then the second one, you're like, you know what? Good for him.
He sounds like Nash. Yeah, you be listening to some heavy shit.
Dude, like I said, right? NF, 100% therapy session and Mansion, I listened to heavily. And then his album... So those are two of his like first two albums. And then Perception and Search, I listen to heavily through like the Search specifically is what I listened to the most when I was going through like dealing with like my depression and all that shit. So like, NF is a really good artist to like listen to. Like I said, like I like that shit. I think he's like one of the, obviously you have like your mainstream artists like Migos, Drake, Lil Wayne, all them, right? Talking about hoes and bitches and doing drugs, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like the appreciation of him to switch up between like just rapping and shit and like rapping about some deep shit.
Yeah.
100%.
Like Rod Wave almost, but like white.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna revisit Just a Pineapple. I definitely gotta revisit that one because I didn't really give it the full attention that it deserves. That was a very well done.
I'm
song.
telling you, just give it a full listen. Just give it a full listen. Next
I'm
thing you know, you'll probably be singing the lyrics, man.
And wait, because you know what I heard? I heard that like they made a Drake song using AI, and they submitted it for a Grammy, and they're allowed to do it because it's not Drake's actual voice. Yeah. So they can profit from this stuff, which in my opinion is fucked up, but kind of interesting. 100%. I don't know how I feel about that though, but I don't know.
Because it's not Drake who's actually singing it. It's just his voice, but that's the thing that's
bullshit.
Crazy about the fucking whole AI trend right now. Like I've seen like YouTubers sing a song that they've never sang before, and they're not obviously like singers and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could take my voice and put it on a fucking song and make it seem like I've been singing.
Get rid of all that shit.
20 years,
Get rid of all that shit. It's not. It's not good.
100%.
Not good at all. All right. Well, that's all I got. Anything you want to share with the people before we hop off of here? A gem, a last, nugget.
I would say like right coming from the military, right. My biggest thing that I've been seeing, especially lately, is seeing a lot of people who've been in for about like 4 or 5 years, right, doing a contract, and they're like, "Well, this was never really something I wanted to do," right? Mm-hmm. For people, right, whoever of all ages, right? If this is something you want to do, 100% do it. But if you're like on the fence about it, don't do it because you're just wasting your time and experience, right? To join something that, like, there's a bigger picture and all that stuff, but like in my career field, I take it parts of it very seriously. So, like I said, right, like how before we talked about this, talked about like active shooters, right? I have to be able to trust someone to know what they're fucking doing, and compared to someone who lazy doesn't want to do the job, is half-assing everything, like going to a situation like that. I'd rather trust someone who's brand new but understands that this is our job compared to someone who's been in for 4 or 5 years, has that training but never gave the shit because they didn't really care about the military any fucking day. So if you're planning on joining the military, right, do it, but make sure you're actually ready to do it. If you're not ready, don't fucking do it, because you're definitely not going to be ready when you actually go operational, right? And then last thing too, always like throwing a fucking piece about mental health, right? Obviously we all deal with our own shit, right? Try to find someone who you can talk to about your shit, right? But make sure it's someone who is empathetic, not sympathetic, because I rather having someone who's very empathetic, who's like, I understand what you're going through, compared to, oh, I'm sorry, that sucks. Kind of, it doesn't help you whatsoever, right? Someone who's willing to listen compared to someone who's going to talk your ear off about and like try to just give you advice and shit. Most of the time when people are dealing with shit, they just want someone to listen. So definitely being able to find someone you can talk to and all this stuff. And then like I even like tell people too, like random people, like if they always want someone to talk to and they don't know me, come talk to me because I love being that person to talk to. I've done it for fucking years and years without dealing with my own shit. But now like after dealing with all my stuff, right? I became like a even like huge part where people are like comfortable talking to me about it more, especially in the military.
Yeah.
But I've gotten comfortable to like, you know, hey, if you know like a buddy or you know a girl that is dealing with some shit and they're not comfortable talking to their own fucking people, like their own friend groups and shit or their family, I always tell people like, have them talk to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I may be a stranger, but it doesn't hurt to if a stranger is willing to listen to you, then your own fucking friends and all that shit. Might as well give it a shot. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you know whoever sees this, or if you want to fucking spread it out, like if you know someone who's dealing with some sort of adversity, like let me know. Give them my fucking number, give them my Facebook or whatever, and they can come talk to me because I love talking. Obviously, we fucking spent 2 hours now fucking recording, talking about bullshitting and shit. So,
I'm not gonna give them your number, but I'll give them your Facebook. Not gonna give them your number.
No, but you know, like I don't care. Like people have my number and shit. Like I tell even like the people like I'm over. I'm like you can text if you're dealing with something. Please let me know, whether it's fucking during the day or fucking 2:00 in the fucking morning, and you're dealing with some shit. Text me or call me. If I don't get to you right away, I'll make sure to give it to you like in the morning as soon as I wake up. And shit.
All right, now when I start blowing your shit up,
dealing with some shit and like
you better answer.
Bro, if you're just gonna blow my shit up just to fucking just do it, I'm not gonna fucking text you.
Chris. I'm like Chris.
Chris.
I gotta go to work and I don't want to.
I'm scared.
But no,
damn, dude, that's crazy. Suck it up, Click.
Yeah, that's why nobody gonna ever come to you because you're dismissing people. But I'm hey.
No.
When I call 3 a.m., I want to hello, what's up, how are you? Let's talk about it. Let's sit down and have a chat about it. Because if you got something to say, I'm gonna replay this shit for you.
If the first words out of your mouth is Chris, I don't want to go to work, bro, I'm not gonna play with that shit.
Damn, man. Invalidating my feelings already. You know what? I don't don't worry about it. It's good. I'm good. I'll talk. I'll call Gene.
Yeah, because he's gonna fucking answer. He's gonna fucking go, man, shut the fuck up.
He's gonna be like, I'm at work. What you want? Nah, he gonna text me back. He's like, oh, I'm at work. What you need? But he'll text me though. He will text me.
He will text you. I'll text you too. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna be a little bit more helpful than fucking Gene telling you shut your bitch ass up.
Damn, he told you that before.
You know how Gene is.
Hey, he's getting better.
He's not the type of person to fucking talk about his feelings and shit.
He is getting better though, because when I was in the hospital, he was. Nah, I mean, no, he's getting better. He's getting better. He is getting better. He's not like he's still gonna be Gene. He's still gonna laugh and shit. But he's getting better. He's definitely getting better. He's, you know, I'm proud of him to say the least. But yeah, so do you want to plug your Instagram at all? Do you want to like throw some social medias out there?
I mean, so you can look me up on Facebook, right? Chris Wee.
It's the Facebook. He's talking about Facebook.
Yeah.
Nobody has Facebook
I don't
anymore.
Fuck, dude. I don't use Instagram all that much, anyways. Like
that's why you didn't know I got hit by a car. You were like, I'm on Facebook.
Well, I think that's. Well, I mean, I knew you had like something. I knew you were in a bunch. Made me die and shit over here. No, I know. Like I obviously saw you were in a fucking brace and shit because of Instagram, you motherfucker.
was like, something happened. I don't know what it was.
Anyways, and he fucking died. Yeah. So I had to fucking change my fucking name because it was still back when I was like just as in tech school, right? But my Instagram name is Whiskey Yankee 18.
It is
all one word.
It is. He's not lying. Whiskey.
It is. Yes, it is. And yeah, it's obviously my profile picture is when I was in tech school, graduated.
Let's
right?
update
So
that.
I'm that fucking douchebag, right? But, huh?
I said let's update that. The photo.
Yeah, well, that's how much I go on Instagram because I don't. Yeah, but I don't. I really don't.
All right.
Like I said, I use it more for just like talking to people.
Yeah. Well, y'all can follow me at Ron_Amos_ because I got an Instagram, unlike other people. But yeah, follow me on Instagram at Ron. You don't use it. You do not use it. He doesn't use it.
Okay, but I still have one, so you can't just say, "Oh, like some people."
Follow Chris at Whiskey Yankee. All his links will be, his LinkedIn and everything will be in the description of the show as well. You can click on that. You can follow the show on TikTok, and I believe we have an Instagram page. And then you can also follow the show on the podcast platforms to stay updated every time we upload an episode. And that's it. Thank you, Chris, for joining me, and I will see y'all next week with another episode. Goodbye.